What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we are taking a look at the Schecter Demon 7-string. Before we get on with the video, I have to give a massive thank you to Schecter Guitars for sending this Demon 7 over to me. This video isn't sponsored, but obviously a massive thank you to them for sending the guitar over. So you already heard how this guitar sounds in a full demo mix, and if you've never seen one of my demos or reviews before, how I like to do things is show you how a guitar sounds in a full demo mix, and then I'm going to tell you about the specs and features, show you a few soloed tone clips, and last but not least, tell you my thoughts and opinions on this instrument. So with that being said, next up is of course the specs and features of this guitar. So this is a bit more of a simpler guitar. This is coming in at only $600 US at the time of filming this video. The reason that Schecter sent this over to me is also because they just released a new version of the Demon guitar, but in the 6-string version, which has a Floyd Rose and a Sustainiac for the first time. So they sent over the 7-string because that's more my speed anyways. For this guitar, we are looking at an aged black satin finish with yellow binding. This is an arched top guitar with Schecter's own active pickups. These are called the Diamond active pickups, both the bridge and neck position. For controls, very simple. We have a 3-way pickup selector there, a volume and a tone, nothing too fancy going on. We have a Tune-o-matic style bridge. However, once again, this is Schecter's own bridge with a string through design down there. The body is made out of basswood, and last but not least for the body, it is also a bolt-on, as you can see right there on the neck joint. Moving on to the neck of the guitar, we have Schecter's own tuners, not locking tuners this time around. We have a Wenge fretboard with Gothic cross inlays. There are 24 extra jumbo frets, not stainless steel this time around, which makes sense given the price point, and it is a 26.5-inch scale length, so pretty standard for a 7-string guitar. The only other thing left to mention is that the neck is made of maple, as you can see on the back right there. So yeah, all in all, nothing too crazy going on with this guitar. Again, it is one of Schecter's cheaper 7-string models, and it honestly sounds and feels pretty great given the price point, which again is $600 US at the time of making this video. So next up, I'm going to show you a few soloed tone clips. I'm primarily going to be focusing on heavy high gain rhythm tones and some clean tones using all 3 pickup positions, as you can see there. So let's hear how the guitar sounds. Okay, last but not least is to talk about my thoughts and opinions on this guitar. Now, when Schecter said they were sending this one to me, at first I was a little confused because this is definitely a little bit different than things that I normally post on this channel. I feel like I normally tend to cover more of the higher end or mid to high end guitars. I don't usually have, you know, more affordable guitars from bigger brands like this. But I have to say that I am pretty pleasantly surprised. One of the best things about Schecter is that before anything, they were actually a pickup and hardware manufacturing company before they made their own guitars. So the nice thing about their guitars that have their own stock or proprietary pickups is that almost every time the pickups are at least actually pretty good. I feel like it goes without saying that the pickups are definitely the weak spot on a lot of other guitar brands who use their own brand of pickups. They are usually very lackluster in my experience. However, with Schecter, almost every time I've had one with their own name brand of pickups, I've usually liked them. And this one is no exception. I think that these pickups actually sound really good, especially, you know, given a 7-string is tuned lower than a 6-string, all that stuff. These are actually voiced pretty nicely for a 7-string guitar. Not really much to write home about in terms of the controls and stuff. You know, volume, tone, 3-way pickup selector, that's all fine, feels good, sounds good. I actually do really like the neck profile as well. There was a period of time about, I don't know, 10 or 8 years ago when the Schecter neck profile was really, really thick feeling. They always felt like baseball bats in my hand, and I guess they've updated this model and a bunch of their other models to have a much thinner neck profile, which feels so much better than how they used to feel. And also, I think that this guitar used to come with Duncan design pickups, and they swapped those back out for their own name brand pickups, which again sound way better. So yeah, overall, I don't really have any critiques of this guitar. I mean, if I was being ultra picky, I would have loved to see stainless steel frets just because those always last a lot longer, and it means that this guitar will, you know, feel newer for a longer amount of time and not need a refret. But again, a lot of guitars in the $600-ish price range are not going to have stainless steel frets, so it's not surprising to see, but that's kind of the only thing I can think of that I wish was added in this for like a little bit more money. I think it would have been worth it, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, all in all, I think that this guitar is actually a very, very good kind of like mid to low starter 7-string. If you've never had a 7-string before and you've been curious about it, this is going to be a pretty good one that actually feels and sounds good, which is very important if you're using a 7-string for the first time. You don't want to get an ultra cheap one that's going to sound terrible, because that's not going to be a good experience and it might turn you off from using 7-strings forever. So you can spend a little bit more money to get something like this that's actually going to feel and sound good. So yeah, this video is kind of short but sweet. There isn't too much to talk about with this guitar other than that I think it's pretty good, especially given the price point. So that's going to pretty much do it for this video. Last but not least, I have to mention a massive thank you to my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. If you're interested in audio downloads, stems, or a shout out on the screen, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Schecter for sending over the guitar. Stay tuned to my channel because I have 3 more Schechters to review on the channel coming up very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.